Welcome to Iowa's heart, where golden cornfields stretch endlessly beneath skies that promise peace and prosperity. Small towns pulse with pride, appearing like living postcards. But beneath this charming surface, a troubling secret lurks. In 2023, Iowa faced a harsh reality. 2,420 people were homeless, a shocking 23% increase from just 3 years earlier. Picture this: a child shivering beneath a thin, worn blanket, desperately dreaming of warmth and safety. This isn't just a number on paper. It's a heartbreaking crisis happening right now. But what's causing homelessness to surge so dramatically in Iowa? The truth is alarming. The problem isn't standing still. It's getting worse each passing year. Back in 2020, the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development found 2,315 homeless individuals, a number already troubling. Fast forward to 2023, and the situation exploded to 2,420, a devastating leap that left local advocates stunned and communities scrambling for answers. Now let's zoom into Polk County, home to Des Moines, the bustling heart of the state. Here, things are even bleaker. The homeless population soared 11% in just 1 year, from 644 in 2023 to a staggering 715 in 2024, according to Homeward, a dedicated local coalition fighting tirelessly against this wave of desperation. And these aren't anonymous faces. They're real people suffering every single day. Picture overcrowded shelters filled with exhausted families, individuals curled up under battered blankets on park benches, and innocent children who should be learning their ABCs instead of searching alleys for scraps of food. This crisis isn't exclusive to big coastal cities. It's happening right here in Iowa, shaking everything we think we know about this peaceful state. Cities like Des Moines, Cedar Rapids, and Iowa City bear the harshest burden. Their streets a haunting testimony to human struggle. At places like Central Iowa Shelter Services, the doors strain against overwhelming demand every single night. Imagine a young mother clutching 2 frightened toddlers, shivering in line just to get one hot meal. Her eyes weary, her voice trembling, her breath visible in the freezing air. Iowa winters spare no mercy. Temperatures plunge below minus 20 degrees Celsius, turning survival into a brutal daily battle. And adults aren't the only victims. Children are caught up too. A shocking 1 in 7 Iowa kids faces food insecurity, a stark warning that homelessness is dangerously close. Thousands of young lives hang by a thread, their innocence crushed by a harsh reality no child should face. Nationwide, America averages 23 homeless people per 10,000. Iowa's rate might seem lower, but the pain is just as piercing. Picture a toddler with tiny, chapped hands, clutching desperately at a donated coat, eyes wide, desperately seeking warmth. This isn't the cozy Iowa portrayed in postcards. It's a hidden nightmare, demanding urgent attention. So, what's fueling this growing crisis? It's not just one thing. It's a tangled web tightening every year. First, skyrocketing housing costs are pushing families to the edge. In Des Moines, rent for a simple apartment has shot up dramatically, forcing families who once barely scraped by into devastating evictions. Imagine a single mother whose rent suddenly spikes from $800 to $1,200 a month. An impossible leap on a minimum wage paycheck that barely covers diapers and bread. Then there's the painful shortage of affordable housing, a crisis worsening since COVID-19 aid programs disappeared. Low-cost homes vanished, leaving a massive gap for families already stretched thin, their dreams evaporating into Iowa's crisp autumn air. Here's a number to chill your bones. 300,000 Iowans, nearly 1 in 10, live with food insecurity. That's more than hunger. It's a ticking time bomb ready to push families onto the streets at any moment. One missed paycheck or unexpected medical bill could send them spiraling into homelessness. Poverty's grip is merciless too, strangling hope every day. In central Iowa, 11.1% of residents live below the poverty line, a painful statistic highlighted in a 2020 report by Kimberly for Iowa. Add stagnant wages, unable to keep pace with inflation, and you've got a recipe for disaster. A slow-burning crisis, scalding hard-working families who believed in the American dream. Imagine a father who gave decades to a local factory, his hands calloused from years of honest labor. Suddenly, the factory shutters without warning. Desperate, he sells everything: tools, his truck, his pride, all to feed his family. Picture him parked on a quiet street at night, his children sleeping fitfully in the cold back seat, frost creeping onto the windows as he stares into darkness, questioning where it all went wrong. It's a story replayed across Iowa. Economic shifts and growing inequality devouring ordinary lives, leaving families haunted by broken dreams. Healthcare only makes things worse. 4.7% of Iowans lack insurance. One broken bone or sick child could unravel years of stability in an instant. These aren't just statistics. They're chains holding thousands back from the life they deserve. Shackles forged by a system that seems to have forgotten the value of human dignity. This is the hidden story unfolding in Iowa. A crisis impossible to ignore, gripping the state tighter every day. You said, the fallout is brutal, a roaring wave of despair smashing across Iowa and leaving shattered dreams scattered like broken glass on a frozen sidewalk. Shelters that once felt safe now overflow night after night. Staff at Central Iowa shelters see long lines twist around the block, their hearts sinking as they turn away weary fathers, anxious mothers, and wide-eyed children because every single bed is filled. Across the nation, homelessness kills with chilling force. More than 13,000 unhoused people die each year from violence alone, warns the National Law Center on Homelessness and Poverty, a number that echoes like an unending siren in the dark. Iowa's losses may seem quieter, yet each is a thunderbolt of sorrow. One neighbor succumbs to frostbite behind an abandoned warehouse. Another slips away from starvation on a silent side street, their final breath stolen by midnight winds that slice like razor blades. Health crumbles fast without a safe haven. Bodies weakened by sleepless nights fall prey to infection, and minds cracked by endless stress tumble into depression that spreads like ivy across a deserted wall, robbing hope with every tangled vine. Children suffer the deepest wounds. Their innocence is yanked away by hardships no young heart should endure. Picture a 10-year-old who once mapped constellations with bright eyes and chalk star names on a dusty sidewalk. Tonight he rummages through trash behind a diner, his small hand shaking, his dream of exploring space smothered by a hunger that growls day and night. Teenagers feel the squeeze too. Some sleep in cars after sports practice, hiding the truth from classmates because shame weighs as heavy as the winter air, and their grades slip as exhaustion blurs every chalkboard line. Public services buckle under the added strain. Emergency rooms become de facto shelters. Police spend precious hours moving unsheltered people from doorway to doorway, and taxpayers shoulder the hidden cost of a crisis that prevention would handle for far less. Mental health spirals in this environment. Anxiety pierces like icy rain. Addiction grows as an escape from relentless fear, and counseling centers report wait lists that stretch for months, while despair demands help today. Stigma also plays its part. Many on the street battle cruel labels. Yet surveys show that most people fall into homelessness after a single life shock, proving that the divide between housed and unhoused is thinner than many imagine. Families buckle under relentless pressure. Parents, once united, now quarrel in frustration. Voices echoing off thin motel walls while kids drift like dry leaves caught in a cold autumn gust, fearing tomorrow more than any monster under the bed. The wider community feels the tear as well. Neighborhood bonds loosen, trust erodes, and suspicion spreads, widening the gap between those with plenty and those with nothing until it yawns like a canyon, threatening to swallow Iowa's spirit whole. Each untold story is a quiet scar on the state's proud heart. How does it feel to watch a child's future fade before your eyes? Share your thoughts below and help keep this urgent conversation alive. Let's talk about housing and social safety nets, the foundations meant to shield us in hard times. In Iowa, they unravel like an old quilt whose threads snap under the first icy wind. Affordable homes are vanishing. Too many families now hand over half their income for rent, leaving no money for milk, medicine, or heat, and one surprise expense can collapse the entire house of cards. When pandemic relief dried up, the safety net shrank to a thin thread. Nationwide, homeless families rocketed 39% from 2023 to 2024, and Iowa rides the same rising tide that crashes against already strained shelters. Social services are stretched past the breaking point. Nearly 5% of residents are uninsured, meaning one broken bone or sudden fever can ignite hospital bills that burn through savings and drive hardworking people onto the streets. Consider a 70-year-old grandmother who spent decades sewing dresses, planting gardens, and reading bedtime stories. Her modest pension could not outpace soaring rent, and now she sleeps in a rusty van parked under a flickering streetlight, clutching a cardboard plea for mercy while traffic rushes past like she is invisible. When housing and welfare fail, they do not just fail individuals, they wound our shared humanity. Dignity in old age, safety in sickness, and hope in hardship crumble together, leaving a vacuum that cold winds rush to fill. Yet Iowa holds a $2 billion budget surplus, a gleaming reserve big enough to mend these tears 10 times over. Why do cracks deepen while the cure sits gathering dust in a ledger? There is real hope. Concrete solutions can pull Iowa back from the edge and turn a tale of despair into one of renewal that rings across its rolling plains. First, build more affordable housing immediately. Simple, sturdy apartment blocks on vacant lots in Des Moines, Cedar Rapids, and Iowa City would anchor struggling families before winter bites again. Design 1 or 2 bedroom units with efficient kitchens and shared green spaces, recycled from empty warehouses or in used industrial yards. This breathes life into wasted land while keeping costs in check. Rent vouchers must cap payments at 30% of income. Imagine a single mom earning minimum wage paying $400 instead of $1,200. Suddenly groceries, textbooks, and an occasional family movie become possible again. Next, raise the minimum wage to $15 an hour, so full-time work truly pays the bills. A higher wage strengthens families and pumps fresh spending into local shops, creating a healthy economic loop. State-funded infrastructure projects can flood job markets with stable work, repair crumbling bridges, modernize rural roads, and expand clean energy grids to put paychecks in pockets and pride back in hearts. Training programs seal the deal. Community colleges could offer 6-month courses in carpentry, nursing assistance, or solar panel installation, aimed at Iowa's actual workforce needs. A laid-off factory worker could earn a certificate and help build those new apartments, transforming from displaced to indispensable. These steps are not charity, they are lifelines. They let parents look their kids in the eye and promise a brighter tomorrow, turning cycles of struggle into stories of strength. Healthcare can be a game changer. Imagine mobile clinics, vans transformed into lifelines, pulling into small towns like Boone or Ottumwa, parking outside churches, and opening their doors to anyone in need. Inside, nurses and counselors offer checkups, vaccines, and even therapy sessions, catching a broken ankle before it festers or spotting depression before it pulls someone into homelessness. In bigger cities, permanent health hubs could offer dental care, mental health support, and addiction recovery. Because no one should lose a home over a toothache. This isn't just treatment, it's protection, a way to stop small problems from turning into full-blown disasters. And what about that $2 billion surplus Iowa's sitting on? It's not just a budget number, it's a lifeline waiting to be used. Imagine if some of that money was poured into expanding shelters with more beds, so no one's turned away on a freezing night. We could build energy-efficient homes with insulated walls and solar heaters to keep families warm and bills low. Launch food programs that bring fresh meals to hungry kids, sourced straight from Iowa's rich farmland. sweet corn, apples, you name it. Turn school buses into food delivery trucks, dropping off healthy boxes alongside the kids they carry home. This isn't charity, it's investing in Iowa's own children and using the land's abundance to feed its people. Picture that shivering child from earlier, now wrapped in a warm blanket, safe in a quiet apartment. His mom? She just got a steady job at a local clinic. She reads him a bedtime story, her face finally calm, her heart finally steady. That's not a dream. That's the future, if Iowa chooses bold action over silence. Local communities can be part of this too. Volunteers staffing soup kitchens on weekends, neighbors dropping off coats and blankets at community centers, whole town showing up for build-a-home days, hammering, painting, laughing side by side. It's the kind of thing you'd see in a heartwarming travel documentary. A state coming together to transform despair into dignity. A real-life blueprint for others to follow. Want proof? Let's talk about Lisa. She's 32, a single mom from Des Moines. Before the pandemic, she worked at a diner. Cheerful, hardworking, providing for her two little kids, ages 5 and 7. Their apartment was small, but it was filled with laughter. Then COVID hit. Her job vanished. Rent jumped from $800 to $1,200. She tried to keep up, but the numbers didn't add up. Eviction came quick, like a punch to the gut. Now Lisa and her boys huddle on a shared cot at Central Iowa Shelter. The toys are gone, replaced by thin blankets and colder nights. One evening, her 7-year-old looked up with tired eyes and whispered, "Mom, when do we get to go home?" She had no answer, just tears that fell quietly in the dark. Lisa's story isn't rare. It echoes in long shelter lines, in parents swallowing pride to protect their children, in the heavy silence of those trying not to fall apart. Her strength is undeniable, but her pain is a call to action we can't ignore. This is the real Iowa we're showing you, beyond the barns and rolling fields. A place full of heart, yet facing heartbreak. Now, here's my personal take. Iowa's homelessness crisis isn't just about money, it's about morals. This is a state that prides itself on grit, on community, on kindness. A place with fertile soil and hardworking people shouldn't have kids sleeping in cars, their breath fogging the windows as they try to stay warm, or seniors standing alone on corners, their voices lost to the wind that sweeps through empty streets. I think about the children of Des Moines, the ones who should be flying kites, drawing spaceships, or chasing dreams. Instead, some are scavenging behind dumpsters, their childhood swallowed by survival. Our strength as a society doesn't come from stock markets or fancy buildings. It comes from how we treat the people who need help the most. Right now, Iowa is failing that test. And it hurts to watch, but this doesn't have to be the end. It could be a turning point, a spark that lights a movement. We can rewrite Iowa's story, and you could be part of that change. With every voice that speaks up, every neighbor who refuses to look away, every action taken with love, we build a better tomorrow. If this were a travel documentary, this would be the moment where the story pivots. The moment when Iowa chooses compassion over convenience. So tell us, do you think Iowa can rise from this? Can it reclaim its soul and prove that no one is too small to matter? Drop your thoughts below. We want to hear from you. To wrap this up, here's the truth. In 2023, 2,420 Iowans didn't have a place to sleep, and the number is rising. Behind that number are real lives. Mothers like Lisa, kids with frozen fingers, elders fading into shadows. All of this in a state that has so much to give. It's a place of beauty, of open skies, golden fields, and tight-knit towns. But under that beauty lies a quiet ache, a hidden hunger that too many pretend not to see. Yet there's still time. This story isn't over. It can begin again, with new housing, better jobs, and care that heals. Not just bodies, but hearts. Picture a future where every child has a warm place to sleep, where families eat together without fear, where Iowans live, not just survive. That's the story worth telling, a legacy we can help create together. Thanks for watching Global Homeless News. This isn't just a report, it's a wake-up call. If this moved you, smash that like button, hit subscribe, and join us as we uncover more stories like this from around the world. Drop a comment and share what Iowa means to you, or how you think we can make a difference. Your voice keeps this journey alive. So stay curious, stay kind, and let's keep searching for the stories that truly matter. Until next time, dream of a world where no one is left behind.